Set. You see it's on the lower setting, and water is right here. Okay, we're up on a little bitty lump. Matter of fact, if I take my camera, my cell phone, and put it down by the foot, okay, you see the foot right here. All right, there's the water. So I might be 18 inches off the water here, and whatever height my tripod is standing up, I do believe that's 36 inches approximately. Really, and we're sitting here quietly. 34.5 inches high. All right. That's the height that I had it set at. Here's my tripod. I had it at the lowest set, well, not the lowest setting, but if I can get it lower. But that's where I had it set today at the beach. All right. Alright, I believe I was probably about 4.5 feet off the water, give or take a few inches. Couldn't have been much higher than that. Of course, you know, with the camera set at 34 inches and about 18 inches off, that brings me about 4.5 feet. I know my camera doesn't, or my cell phone camera doesn't give me really good quality zoomed in pictures, but actually takes some really good quality pictures without it being zoomed in. And the time was about 4:30. I do believe that we got out there. It was between 4 and 4:30. I know we left my house at about 4 o'clock. And if you look down there, you can see some islands that veer off to the left, the darker islands there. And actually where you see, if I show it, there's a water tower out there, and that's right at the end of the channel that we launch our boats from. It's called Hernando Beach Boat Ramp, and it's by a bunch of marinas. It's a public boat ramp. Anybody can go there. Cost you $5 though to park your damn trailer and use the boat ramp. But you can see this boat coming at me. Barely see it coming at me, almost in the middle of the screen. And I'm sorry about the quality of the video, but again, this is cell phone footage, and it's really hard to get a zoomed in cell phone footage that isn't quite grainy or a little on the blurry side. I'm still working with trying to get better resolution on it. It's got some good settings in it that I need to play around with and see if I can't get it to perform better. But right at this moment, you know, my main concern was just showing the height of my camera and where I was located. Now, we were on this island once before, but we were a little further down on it, but the tide was coming in, and of course, you know, we don't want to stand out there and get our equipment wet, so we decided to move up a little bit further up on the island, or further back on the island, I should say. And, you know, this is the chain where I'm trying to look down the channel, and it veers off to the left, and you know, it kind of does a big sweep right back around into that channel where we launch. Now, right there, you could barely see those buildings. And then, you know, I kind of made a mistake when I first got here. I thought I was zoomed in on the buildings, but I was actually zoomed in on some island out there. But I was catching a channel marker that I wasn't sure what it was, but the little post sticking up there just to the right of the dark area is a channel marker, and it kind of just looks like a stick sticking up out there. But later on, because I filmed this for like 45 minutes thinking I was on the condos, but later on you'll see how that blurry little stick actually turns into a channel marker, and you can obviously see it fairly easily as it comes out of its little hiding place. And that's the whole purpose that I want to show, is that refraction doesn't pull shit up from behind a curve. Matter of fact, a lot of it drags things down. The mirroring drags the reflection downward, and it causes some distortion. But in no way should I be able to even see that channel marker from the distance that I'm at. So, you know, it's kind of hard to explain. I was actually very excited during this footage because I knew I was going to catch something really good. Just the way the sun was setting and everything. I used my virtual horizon in the beginning to try to set where I was at, and I actually wish I would have took some pictures of my setting with the virtual horizon on to show you where, you know, I was looking. Now you got to remember, I am lower than those buildings are in the first place, so I'm actually having to look upward. So you know, if you take 4.5 feet and you go over closer to that, you would see that I would have to be looking up toward it, which in turn would block off the last story of the building. So the bottom floor I would not be able to see because it is actually going to get blocked out by land, and you'll see in some of the pictures what I'm talking about. Alright, now I'm going to move on to another video. Okay, I took this picture almost as soon as we got out there, and I want you to watch that little thing underneath my arrow, because I got some videos where I just stayed on this for about 45 minutes or so, and you'll see how it changes. Now I'm going to speed that video up and maybe even cut some out of it, because I don't think watching the whole thing is actually that great, but that's what we'll do. Alright, I sped this up so of course we wouldn't spend hours on this one video, and that little flashing that you see in the screen is just boats going by that are real close to me, that are cutting right in front of me in the Hernando Beach channel. Now, I actually thought I was zoomed in on the condos, but actually this wound up pretty good, because you see that you know, channel marker there that actually doesn't even really look like a channel marker, but as the light recedes and comes in at a different angle, you'll start to see this thing appear as it should appear, and that you'll see toward the end of this. Like I said, you know, observations are wonderful ways of showing this light refraction. And like I said earlier, I challenge any glober to go out and do what I said. Show somebody going over a hill, and it doesn't even have to be that far away, and then show that refraction can pull his ass up. It's not going to happen. Here's a transition. That well, actually, it didn't even show the transition. But this is another 15-minute video. So this is going to be like a half an hour. Well, there's the transition. I don't know, the thing's kind of running a little behind or a little fast, I don't know, but keep your eye on that. There's a zoom in, a zoom out, back in. So again, just keep your eye on that spot I showed. I did stop and take a few pictures too along the way to show you how this channel marker changes and it starts appearing as it should. It's being drugged down. The reflection is being drugged down, or dragged down, I should say, and that's what's causing the distortion of it. But as the light again recedes, it starts opening up to where you can actually see that it is a channel marker to one of the channels between Hernando Beach and Hudson Beach. There's two other channels out there. One's called Sea Pines and one's called Arapica. And I fish all of these areas, and I have proof to show it and part of a later video. Now this was a picture I took afterward, and you can see how you can still see some mirroring underneath it, but there is the channel marker. It's pretty obvious it's a channel marker. Now I'm going to put some audio on and let you listen to the real audio that I was doing when I was there. Trying to keep it centered the best I can, people, because I'm just doing video, and this is something that, as the sun's the light from the sun's angle changes, it gets farther away from us. On any flat surface, you can do the same thing. As that light gets away and reflect it back off of a reflective surface like the water, you're going to see that light reflecting off the water. But the light can and will not pull anything up from behind the curvature. It is blocking you out from seeing farther past it. The other issue is the angle of resolution. My camera cannot resolve that white gray area there at the bottom of the screen between the hard water and the building. It cannot resolve that. So it's all that whole area there is kind of like out of focus, and the upper and lower is getting pulled down, if anything. Downward refraction, not upward. I can't pull anything up from behind the curve, and I will bet any globe person that they cannot have somebody drive over a tiny hill, just a tiny hill, where the person is visibly on the other side, and you use refraction to pull his ass up above that hill. I want to see that done before I hear another word from any of you trolls saying that it's light refraction pulling it up, because it don't happen. You show me it where you can go out and do this with somebody on a bicycle and going over a hill, and then maybe I'll believe your bullshit refraction story. There, I said it. Rethinking It All and I are out here working together at this. Even though we share different opinions, he thinks it's got some concavity and I think it's flat. We put our differences aside and we work together at this. I'm not saying he's wrong, he's not saying I'm wrong, and that's what we need to do instead of working against each other. If we want to find out whether it's a ball, concave, or flat, we need to set our differences aside and work together, not fight each other. All right, I wanted to say that. I wanted to put my 2 cents worth. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, okay, is my camera is, he took his compass. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, okay, is my camera is, he took his compass, but that's southwest. That's definitely not west. West is more that way. Okay, this is southwest, and that's where the sun is making the bigger arc. Okay, arc over Earth, and it's appearing to drop over to the south. But what I want to do, right here, I got my camera down low. You can see where the sun is. Now I'm going to show you where my camera is facing. So my camera is facing right here. So you can see the direction that I'm facing compared to where the sun is. So I'm at approximately a 45-degree angle from the sun. Maybe actually a little bit more, because a 90 would be here. So yeah, about a 45-degree angle from the sun. So again, here's the sun, and here's my camera. All right, so that's a good way to do it. And like I said, I'm going to save my camera because I want to figure out how to set my. Actually, let's see his compass. He might have his compass set up. Print. And okay, actually, my camera is pointing just a little, oh, damn near south. My camera is pointing damn near south. And like I said, here is west. Okay, if you look at west, now if I bring my camera straight up, there's west. The sun's well left of west. So it is more like southwest. And you know, we could get picky and give you the exact numbers off of here. You know, it's definitely not 270 degrees. It's more like 230, if anything, 235. All right, just going by the compass. I should set my compass up and tell you where my camera, but you can kind of see my camera is pointing for southward, to the south. And with my eyes, I can barely see the buildings out there. I'm going to try to zoom in. Maybe this camera will resolve it. Does not have the best resolving power at 8 times zoom. But on my, turn some of the brightness down, or turn it up. Maybe up would be better for here. Maybe you can see the darker outline of the land. And I'm going to, right out here, this is 8 times zoom, by the way. There's all the light. Look at how the light reflects off the water. And then on the angle of my camera, look at that. Yeah, it almost makes it become a pyramid shape. Okay. That light, the light reflection is causing what appears to be a curve. It's the light and everything else. From here all the way over, if I go quickly, boom, it's straight across. But right here, where that light comes down, and you stand there and kind of focus on where that end is out there, where it all ends. Okay? There's a big difference. It's the light is causing that to poke out further, because there's plenty of water for it to reflect off of. Again, from here, look at that. Straight line, people. Straight line, because that's the way our eyes work. But now they want to tell you that I'm only seeing so far, but meanwhile my camera's able to zoom out well over the supposed curve and see objects sitting on the water, and then they want to tell me that it's refraction pulling them up. Bullshit.
That's because their theory of how far you should see from your height is off. It's bullshit. It's a lie. It's not true. Plain and simple. Go out and observe, people. That's all I ask people to do. Don't believe shit I say. Go out and do your own observations. Right? And then research how your eyes actually work. That's another thing. All right. That's a good way right there to just show how that light reflects. It blinds you from seeing there. Look, just above the water, it blinds you. It's like a whiteout area, and that's what blinds you from seeing past it. It's the light reflecting off the water. It's not pulling shit up. It's hiding shit behind it. Man, just look at it. It's obvious. It's obvious that this is what light does. It hides stuff beyond it. But those clouds, obviously, all those clouds are in front of the sun. And there's that chemtrail, that plane that I was following earlier, you know, leaves across the sky. And then it blurts out all in this shit right here. Because all that is. All this is. Most of this shit in the sky right here, right there, I'm telling you, that's all remnants of chemtrails. All gathering up and bunching up and making what appears to be clouds. But those aren't natural clouds. That ain't natural clouds. You know, some guy yelling at me, I'm a flat earther. How did he know? How did that guy know, man? I was a flat earther, man. I heard him yelling.
Laugh out loud, man. Me and him had a good time out here on this island, doing our videos. Like I said, he's got a different outtake than I do, which is fine. Uh, and we like to go out here and do our filming. Now his camera was a little higher than mine. My camera was definitely set lower. So I'm, like I say, I'm kind of looking upward towards these, you know, the higher land behind it. So, you know, you got to take into consideration my height of my camera is actually lower than that, you know, channel marker that is very visible there. Now I took one more picture, and I'm going to end this as the first part, and you know, let you guys think about what these observational videos are showing. Now right here you can obviously see that channel marker is now in full view because it's no longer being blocked out by the light. So again, take it as you will, and hopefully you see truth. And how important observational videos are. I think they are way underrated by the flat earth community.